This is a picture of my parents. They were gay, so I will refer to the one on the left as Mama and the one on the right as Mom. These two people shaped the person you see before you more than anyone else except for possibly my sister, who I can't see any of you, but is out there somewhere. Hi, Ella. Look, I'm giving a TED Talk. I'm awesome. All right. So I think these pictures show that my mom was a very sweet, kind person, while Mama was incredibly just goofy, optimistic, and generally fun to be around. So the funny thing about people, though, is they die sometimes, and that's actually not that funny at all now that I think about it. But when I was in 4th grade, my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, not this one, the other one. When I was 13, my mama died of cancer, and when just last November, Mom passed away due to the Alzheimer's. So, needless to say, I've been through a little bit. I mean, I've been through a bit of the thick of it. You know, things happen. It's tough. But I guess trauma and hardship leave you with a negative cloud of bitter emotions long after the initial shock and anguish that you feel. And I guess, what am I trying to say? These emotions try to weigh you down and try to keep you from being the best you can be. And I'd like to share stories from my personal life on my experiences dealing with these negative emotions and growing as a person despite your hardships. So, as my mom's Alzheimer's progressed, she became less and less present in my life. She was kind of, I would get home and she'd be watching Dr. Phil on TV instead of being there for me and being there to help me with my homework or anything like that. And she also started to blame me and my sister for the sadness, the anger, the confusion she felt as a result of the emotional dysregulation and the memory loss of the disease. And when she did this, I took it to heart. I chose to believe what she was saying was true, because it was easier to believe the lie that my sister was mistreating her or I kept doing things to hurt her and wrong her than it was to accept the truth that she was fading and she was becoming less and less the person who had raised me the first 9 years of my life. As a result of this, I tried to just be really cautious and not do anything that would upset her. I was afraid of hurting her. And it drove a rift between me and my sister because I blamed her. I blamed her for the way that she hurt Mom, she was hurting her, making her feel worse. But as I've grown older, I've grown through introspection. I've come to terms, for the most part, with my mom's condition, and I've been able to, along with my sister, mend that rift, and I've been able to build up through the introspection and through talks with people. I've been able to cleanse myself of those emotions. However, I can't fully say I know all the effects of what happened to my mom because she only died in November, so I don't fully know how I'm taking it. I'm still trying to be introspective and learn about myself and figure out what I'm feeling. But earlier on when my mom died, my world was turned upside down. She was especially as my mom's condition worsened, she was the glue that held our family together. And she was also just an incredibly, she was the best person, like all of you. I'm sorry, I have you beat in the mom department. There's actually one time, here, a quick story. There's one time, so she coached my basketball team, and there's one time before a game, she was looking at me. She's like, hey, buddy, look at this. And I look over, and she's holding a basketball, and she goes and she punts it. And she's like, because she's she kicked a basketball. She's clutching her foot in pain, and as she's doing that, zoom, it goes right in the hoop, and it's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. But, even after, in addition to the despair I was feeling, I felt a weird sort of jealousness and spite toward people because of it. I was strangely unempathetic, and it's hard to explain, but I guess, here's an example. So I had a friend, and he was talking to me about how his dog had died over the weekend. And on the outside, I acted normal. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If you need to talk to someone, you can talk to me. But on the inside, I was doing a comparative struggles thing. I was worried about I've been through more than him. I've lost my mom. I was just thinking about I've had it rougher. I've been through more. And I was too self-absorbed in my own issues and what I'd been through than for me to not see that there was a person in front of me who was hurting, who was sad, and who needed someone to be there for them despite what I had been through. And similarly, I was also kind of jealous of people. I was talking to a different friend on the phone once, and I was kind of like mad that he had an easier life, so to speak. I guess I was talking about a lot of stuff I'm talking about now, but like with a much less nuanced understanding of it, I guess. But like I was talking about a lot of this, and I was like, okay, so what have you been through? What's happened in your life? And he was very upfront with me about like, Max, I don't have any story like that. I haven't been through as much. I've had a fairly normal childhood, and I'm not going to pretend that I have been through anything like that. But I kept pushing, like, you must have something. Like, there must be something you've been through, like maybe like parents fight or something like that. And I was just throwing stuff out there, and I kept trying to push him, trying to see, like, what had he been through. Like, I almost was wishing it on him, or, like, wishing he'd had something to relate me to. And because he didn't, I almost, like, wanted him to feel guilty. And I was trying to shove down his throat, like, I've been through more. I've had it harder. Feel so happy for what you have, but more like feel guilty for what you have. Like, I wanted him to feel worse because of it. And I've thought back on that a lot, and especially in the coming months after that, I thought back on that conversation with him, and I was kind of just like, what am I doing here? And what I realized is through introspection and talking with others, I realized that I've been letting these bitter, negative emotions control the way I was thinking and control how I was treating others. And I let them define me. I let the worst, spiteful emotions that I'd been left with determine how I would act. And as I realized this, I talked more with people. I thought about it more in my own head. I tried to reconcile with myself and figure out what I could do to improve despite the fact that I'd been through things. And I think for the most part, I've cleansed myself of a lot of these emotions. But yeah, during your life, you will face loss, you will be hurt, and you will hurt others. No one said this road we call life is easy. When you encounter these losses, you may feel that bitterness, that anger. And the stages of grief are complex. Acceptance isn't a one-way ticket. And it's a metamorphosis that occurs in waves. However, you can cleanse yourself of those bitter, spiteful, negative emotions, and you can work on improving yourself rather than letting vindictiveness take the reins. Remember to let the tears flow, feel the pain when life is its worst at you, but also fall back on the people who care about you, and when they go through something, be someone for them to fall back on. When you look inside yourself and catch a glimpse of that bitterness, you need to address it. You can fight through it once you see it. You have the power of resilience, and you can use it to cleanse yourself of the worst hardships and bitter emotions you've been through, take away the best from them, leave the worst from them, and become a more battle-scarred yet complete human being. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.